know, because you had a fairly lame, technologically challenged co-host, we did not record Chris Reed's conversation. And he doesn't know, so we're not going to tell him, but that was sad. And that's just an oversight on my part. So
I can be bribed.
Okay. But we're going to count on all those pictures, Instagram, Facebook, send them to me so we can put them on the family page. And I am super duper proud of all of y'all for showing up for Amanda. So Whitney, go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to welcome everybody. I don't see anyone that hasn't been with us before.
No picture.
Or you want to say hello, please do.
I have no camera. I'm like, can you
know who you are and where you are. And just a couple of little housekeeping tips. If you don't mind, when we're in the presentation, keep yourselves muted. Especially you with that horse, I know your horse wants to be a part of this, but a horse is a horse, of course. We
don't want no whinnying during the presentation is what she's saying.
You know, of course, the chat, if you want to text back and forth. Or
chat away, people.
If you have a question for Amanda or her team as we go along, put it in the chat box and they can field those as they come up. And that's about it. Carol, you want to do the introduction?
I'll be glad to take it away, and I don't want to waste too much more time, but I just want to tell you that I'm just super excited today to feature Brush Creek Ranch and my friend Amanda Washer and her team. Brush Creek Ranch is one of the most award-winning hotels and resorts in the country, not just in the category of Western lodges, but across the brand of small hotel luxury. The readers of Condé Nast Traveler and Travel and Leisure have designated them for a number of years, like in a row, I believe, as the top resort or one of the top resorts in the country. Anybody that's looking for a really unusual spin for a small incentive program, look no further than one of the luxury ranches, and particularly Brush Creek Ranch. So we want to thank her for her partnership. I'm going to turn it over to Amanda Washer, let her introduce her team, and y'all get to know her and say hi so she feels at home. Hey, Amanda.
Hello. Howdy, y'all. Well, I really want to start by thanking Retreats Resources. My name is Amanda Washer. I'm the Director of Group Sales. I've been with the property for 6 years. It is my favorite job ever, and I've worked for some nice properties. Some of you may have met one of my counterparts, Dustin Dolan. He attended the Connection Retreat at Montage Palmetto Bluff last August. And we're new to this group, so we're really enjoying working with Carol and Whitney. How can you not? I really love how they've rolled with the times. I mean, we've all been on a million of these virtual Zoom meetings, go-to teams, and I love that they want to kind of step it up and make it different and bring a cocktail. So thank you, ladies. So overview of our collection. We are a ranch collection. We are an all-inclusive collection of 3 ranches, all located in Saratoga, Wyoming. And we sit on 30,000 acres. Doesn't that sound great right now? Talk about wide open spaces. It really does sound great to a lot of people right now. Every property has its own personality. We are owned and managed by Bruce White of White Lodging, which is a major hospitality management company out of Merrillville, Indiana. We own, develop, and manage about 100 properties all over the US. There's a Marriott in Nashville. There's a Hyatt Place in Knoxville. So kind of that's your neck of the woods. And before I go much further, I would love to introduce Mike Williams. He has been with the property since inception in 2009, but has been a superstar within White Lodging for 38 years. He started when he was 10. So with the scope of this property, I really have no idea how he does it all. He remembers every guest. He is very charismatic. He's super smart as a whip and really a wonderful leader. So Mike's going to talk about the history of the ranch and how we got to where we are today. Thanks, Mike. Unmute.
Thank you. I always need direction. Well, thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity. This has been an unbelievable spring. I think we would all agree to that. What's happening with us right now is up until April 25th, like a lot of ranches, we didn't even know if we were going to open. From the time that we abruptly had to close on the governor's orders on March 19th, right during the wedding.
Mike, you're muted again.
Muted.
That. Okay. When we were closed on March 19th, we didn't know what the future was going to hold. And we usually open up in the third week of May. And that was always going to be our plan. But as we went through the rest of March, all of April, we just didn't know if we were going to open. Then on April 25th, which was our due date, to make a decision, we said, you know what, we have to open. We want to open. We think our customers need us to open, but we're not going to open all the ranches this year. So we're opening up the original ranch, the Lodge and Spa, and we're opening up the farm, our newest entity that we opened up in 2019. And we think that gives just a tremendous offering. What's transpired during this time, like everywhere, including our hotels and our hotel portfolio, most groups canceled because they just couldn't hold it, either by restrictions, by fear, responsibility, what have you. And what's really been amazing in the last 2 to 3 weeks is the outpouring of interest from our leisure guests, people from the East Coast, people from the West Coast, people from the Great Northwest, people who are tired of being in their homes and they want to go somewhere that isn't overpopulated. We're finding that although they've been cooped up with their immediate family for months, they still want to be with their family. They just don't want to be at home. They want to come somewhere else. So as we open up the ranch, and today's May 27th, normally we'd be open by this time. We're going to open the ranch on June 7th. And it's such a great day on the ranch because we've had a core group of people working all winter, but now we have people trickling in. Instead of 300 associates this year, we'll have 138. And now when you start seeing some of our returnees come in, you start seeing our fly fishermen come back for guide training, you see our horse folks come back on the equestrian team, our culinary people, it really feels like it's going to happen finally. And we're so excited to be in that niche. But what makes Brush Creek tremendous, and Carol, and thank you for kind of shouting our accolades. We're very humbled by that through Travel and Leisure and also by Condé Nast. But, the Whites, Bruce and Beth, have built us a phenomenal ranch. God created a beautiful piece of property and they've created a beautiful ranch, but all of that's just brick and mortar. And it really is, if you look at our trip advisors, you talk to anybody who's ever been here to the ranch, it's the people. It's the people that serve the guests, that create the experiences, the guides, the food and beverage people. It's not the pillow, it's not the bed. All that stuff is very, very, very nice. But what we try to do is create an indelible memory in whatever you're doing. And the ranch was homesteaded in 1877. And it's been a guest ranch, I think, since the mid-40s. And the Whites, if I'm correct, I think they're either the 5th or the 6th owners of the ranch. And they'll be the last owners that the ranch ever has. They love Wyoming. They love this part of the country. They love hospitality. It's a pretty good mix. And everything's going to be open. We're able to do what we need to do to be safe. Because we're going down to basically a third of our team, our employee housing is completely spaced out. So that's going to be safe. Everything we're going to do is going to be responsible. But as Amanda said, in 30,000 acres, you can be pretty socially distanced. And, but we're truly excited again to kind of get back on the saddle again, pun intended. And we're just thrilled to be able to serve guests because our hotel company had to be responsible to close some of our properties. And we look at this as, it's almost like the space launch, that I have here on the TV that's going to happen in 18 minutes. It's almost like America needs this. And we know that hospitality needs places like us. And we're thrilled. We're thrilled to get the bat back in our hands and get after it. I know our staff is going to be thrilled. And as I told all of our team all spring, this is arguably going to be the hardest year of work that we've ever had, but it very well could be the most rewarding year of work that we've ever had. So we're thrilled. We're thrilled to work with you. We're thrilled to invite people back to Wyoming and to the great outdoor spaces. We want to see smiles on their faces. We want them to breathe the air that we breathe. It's phenomenal. And again, we're open for business in a very, very safe, responsible manner. And all 138 of us strong are ready to go. So back to you, Carol.
Amanda, it's yours.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to give you a little rundown of the ranch, show you some dreamy pictures, and we'll watch a couple cool videos. We might do a live tour of a secret location. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Whitney, may I please share my screen? Thank you. Sorry, guys. All right. So it is my pleasure to introduce you to the Brush Creek Luxury Ranch Collection. Mike just kind of covered this, but as we all know, COVID-19 has had a huge impact on the hospitality industry. I know that you have all felt it. We have certainly felt it. The bottom line is that we believe in travel. We want people to believe in travel, and people are traveling. So that is good. I always like to start with a little geography lesson. We are located in South Central Wyoming, nestled at the base of the Medicine Bow National Forest and bordering the Sierra Madres. As you just heard from Mike, it's just wide open spaces. I want to tell you that we date back to the 1800s. This is something very cool about our property. It's an original working cattle ranch and still is a working cattle ranch. Today, I want to tell you about 2 of our 3 properties. The third one is called the French Creek Sportsman's Club. And while it's beautiful, it is kind of more of a remote hunting and fishing lodge with 4 cabins. So not ideal for big groups. The Lodge and Spa, as Mike mentioned, is our flagship property that has been open for about 10 years. It's really known for adventure. We do a lot of incentives, and the nice thing is that it's easy to get exclusivity. We have 51 bedrooms. I would like to share with you a few of my favorite cabins and spaces that go way back. So this is our 1-bedroom cabin called Coop, and it was an actual chicken coop from the 1920s. And now it's a beautiful 1-bedroom cabin. So several of the cabins on the property existed on the ranch when we took it over. They were dilapidated. They looked a lot like this picture. They were dilapidated and falling apart. We took them apart log by log and painstakingly put them back together, and in an effort to maintain their historic appeal.
Amanda, could I ask a question? That's not how it looks now on the outside though, right?
It is not.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thanks for asking. This is our cabin, the blacksmith cabin. It is also a 1-bedroom cabin suite. It was the actual blacksmith. It had dirt floors, and it also doubled as the farrier shop. Does anyone know what the farrier shop is? It's basically where horses get pedicures. Wynn probably knows that. They trim, they balance, or reshoe the horse hooves. And now it's probably our most popular 1-bedroom cabin. It has that beautiful sitting space, bedroom, and it also has pocket bunks. This is an old loafing shed. And this is where the horses and the cattle would go. Think way like wide open in the middle of nowhere. This is where horses and cattle would go to be protected from the elements. So what do you think it became? It's our authentic saloon. This is where you come at the end of the day after you've done your activities and you cool off with a Montucky buck. This is a very active place. There's lawn games, kind of where this picture is taken from. There's croquet, or there's cornhole, bocce ball, a lot of different things, and people love to sit in these chairs. It's a beautiful, beautiful view and a very interactive place on the outside and the in. While we're on lodging, I want to jump to the next property, which is the McGee Homestead. This is a separate entity 5 miles away. It's Relais and Chateau, it's Forbes 5-star, and really a step up as far as design and decor. It has a real focus on food and beverage and wellness. There's a pool, an indoor grotto, and a spa there. It's typically an adult-only retreat. This summer, we are opening it to family buyouts, and it's been very popular. We cannot keep up with the requests. Oftentimes, groups will buy out both properties to get to 63 bedrooms. McGee Homestead has 12 bedrooms. So if you combine both, it's a very seamless experience. We provide transportation back and forth, and your top 12 guests who stay at this property will love it. It still has that Western feel. It's still all-inclusive, or on its own, it's perfect for high-end board retreats or a couples retreat. Our 30,000-acre ranch is an all-inclusive luxury retreat. What does that mean? Our rates include lodging, gourmet food, premium beers, wines, and spirits, and 2 3-hour guided activities per person per day. What kind of activities? We pride ourselves on our activities. This is really where we differ from our competition. The quality of our guides, the gear, and the options that we have are unparalleled. There's really something for everyone. Here's mountain biking. We have 55 miles of trails. Fishing, there's over 10 miles of world-class water for fishing. If anybody knows fly fishing, Kevin, I think you would know the North Platte. And here is the yoga hike. So you hike up to this Falcons Peak deck. They also do sunrise yoga, which is one of my very favorite activities to do there. There's rock climbing. We have this beautiful rock outcroppings on property, so that we've decided that to be a new activity, and it's been popular. Archery, this is a really fun one. You're hiking through the woods and you're shooting at 3D targets, animals. So moose, deer, I love that. The gun range is, the gun range is a great option for groups. We can set up an Annie Oakley competition. You can get about 20 people out there at a time, all in different stations, doing skeet, long range, pistols, and then end your afternoon there with some whiskey and cigars at the yurt at the gun club. We have a brand new ropes course. It is 40 feet high and very scary, but fun, of course. Hiking, I mentioned the 55 miles of trails, but we also butt up to the Medicine Bow National Forest, which is 1 million acres. So there is truly, people say, oh, I've hiked. No, this is amazing, different hiking that you've not done before. So that is super wonderful. Horseback riding is a no-brainer on a ranch. It's very popular. We have all different types of rides and lessons, all different things to do there. What I would like to do is introduce our equestrian manager. I want to show you a video, if I can figure this out, hang tight, about her. She is something special, and she's our own cover girl, which I will tell you. Can you see my video, Carol?
No, not yet.
Okay. New share, here we go. It's not the Wizard of Oz.
Good.
Here at Brush Creek Ranch, with all of the entities combined, we have around 180 horses, which are mostly comprised of quarter horses. The quarter horse breed is the cowboy horse. And we have worked really hard over the last couple of years to expand our herd a bit to try to get the best variety of horses possible so that we can cater to every guest's need and what they're asking for and what they're dreaming about in their equestrian experience out here. Here at Brush Creek Ranch, we try to offer a little bit of everything. We have all of our inclusive rides, which we name a level 1 to a level 4, respectively, for the experience level of the rider. I love a level 2 ride that goes to Falcons Peak. I think it's just one of the most beautiful views on the ranch, especially horseback. You're just up that much higher when you're up on Falcons Peak on the back of a horse, and it's just breathtaking. Our cattle drives are a fantastic experience for the guests that want to come out and learn how to be a cowboy. Our riders get to go out and we take them out to the herd of cattle, and we're going to be giving tips and instruction on how the livestock move and teach them exactly how cowboys move cattle and have been doing it for 100 years. We offer pole bending and barrel racing lessons. They're both similar in the way that you're going to learn how to control your horse quite a bit. You're going to learn more about horsemanship and going from a slower pace to a faster pace. The cool thing about our equestrian program here at Brush Creek Ranch is that there really is something for everybody. There is. If we can just talk to the guest and say, what is it that you are interested in doing? How can we make this special for you? And a great way to do something special like that is to set up a private ride, which you can do by yourself, a family can sign up for, a couple, and we can really cater it to whatever you'd like to do on those private rides. Maybe you just want to be alone, but you want it to be a very beginner ride. Or maybe you really want it to be fast-paced, go race up hills and jump over rivers and all of that. We can do that. It's hard to put into words how much this job means to someone who's so passionate about what they do. Being able to help people become better riders. There's nothing cooler for us. You know, I think most people wouldn't trade it for anything.
So an interesting thing about Katie Hefner, who was featured in that, is that we just had a photo shoot. She is going to be featured in the American Ways magazine on the cover. So she's our very own cover girl. That is the magazine, if we ever brave flights again, on American Airlines, this magazine in the back of the seats. Now you can say you know her. Sorry, guys. Haven't figured out a way to get through this. Okay, back to the food, all-inclusive food and beverage program. It's really come a long way, especially in the 6 years that I have been here. We pride ourselves on this aspect and now have fully functioning greenhouses, our own herd of Wagyu cattle, and everything in between. And we've hired very talented chefs to bring it all together. Ah, the farm. This is our baby. This is our new baby. This is our newest venture. It opened last summer. So this is a venue. There's no lodging here yet. I can dream, right, Mike Williams? It is a 1 cocktail ride away from either Lodge and Spa or McGee, and is a culinary adventure. So we have the adventure side, and now we have the culinary side. And pictures do not do this justice, but I want to give you kind of the lay of the land. This all started because we started with a greenhouse, and then we thought, well, this greenhouse is really cool. We should bring people out here and let them pick tomatoes and have lunch out here. So it was going to be this patio where we had lunch, and this is what it turned into. So I want to just use my little laser pointer. They're fun little things we can use here. So this is the whole entity. Over here on the right side is our own creamery. Think butters, cheeses, ice creams. And we're making all of our own in-house items there. This building is the Cheyenne Club. This is a fine dining restaurant. It's one of the more sophisticated, it's one of the more sophisticated dining atmospheres, not in Saratoga, Wyoming, not in Wyoming, in the country, and maybe even in the world. This is an experience. It's really put us on the map. In the middle here is our own brewery and distillery. This summer, we're producing our first batches of bourbon, gin, rye, and vodka. But in the sign of the times, we halted everything a couple months ago and started making hand sanitizer. And we donated that to the first responders in our county. It was very popular, word got out, people wanted it, and we kind of had to decide whether we were going to be in the hand sanitizer business or the spirits business, and selfishly we chose the spirits business. By next year, we'll be fully making our own beers and spirits, which is very exciting, and what will be included as a part of the all-inclusive package. On the left side here is our saddle barn. This is a beautiful open space with a barn feel and the most amazing views. The sun sets over here and it is amazing. We really needed this space desperately for weddings and larger meetings and group functions. So what you can't see here is what's underground. We have an underground 94-yard wine tunnel. And off to the sides is a wine cellar with over 4,000 bottles of wines and 500 varietals. our own bakery down there, the most beautiful private dining and boardrooms that you've ever seen. And we have our own little speakeasy also. It's called the Spirit Vault. And there's a secret room behind the wall of one of these private dining rooms that leads you to this dark, rich room with over 100 lockers on the walls with the finest, rarest scotches, bourbons, and whiskeys. So the experiences over here are not all inclusive. These are very special, unique experiences. You're making pasta with our executive chef. You're doing a pre-prohibition era whiskey tasting. You're doing a 100-point wine tasting. So these are very high-end experiences. At $27 million, no details were spared here at the farm. So we're very proud of it, and it's being very well received. I'll take off my laser pointer. So here we are. Here's the wine tunnel set up for a dinner for 150 people. It was stunning and very well executed. Over here on the right is our greenhouse. So this started with kind of a vision of our owner's wife who wanted to have more of a farm to table concept, and we now have taken it seed to table. And as you can imagine, Wyoming isn't the easiest place to grow fresh produce year round due to the length of our growing season, coupled with the quality of the soil. The Rocky Mountain soil is terrible. So we decided to build a greenhouse. Then it was 2, and now we're working on our 3rd. So we are producing 100,000 pounds of food each year. I think maybe we should visit the greenhouse now. Please allow me to introduce you to our greenhouse director, Serge Boone. Originally from the Netherlands, Serge has worked in greenhouses since he was 12 years old. He's going to take you on a little tour and show you some of the things we're growing. Serge.
Is he muted?
Let me see.
Hey, measure that one in there now. Measure that credenza in there now.
Donna, you're not muted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, Amanda, it's Corinne. I think you just need to stop sharing your screen and then we'll come up.
That would be nice. Let me do that.
We like chatting amongst ourselves. It's fine.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to
You look
multitask.
adorable. Oh my gosh.
Okay, I
Hi,
stopped.
guys.
Love
Welcome to the greenhouse. Let me switch it over to Serge now. Just one moment.
Hi.
Awesome. Well, guys, welcome to the greenhouse. It's a little weird because I don't have anyone in front of me, but so this is the greenhouse. I'm Serge Boone. I manage the greenhouse. And what we do here is grow all the foods for all our kitchens, but also have experiences for guests where we really dive into like a hands-on experience. How do we seed? Why do we mix our own soil? What benefits does it have? So really like get your hands in the dirt kind of experiences. So where we are now is also related to all our harvest from centralized food, and so we can distribute it.
Hey, Serge, it's Mike. We're having some audio problems. We can't hear you.
He's talking away.
Hey, Corinne, can you let Serge know that we can't hear him?
Because we went back to her photo, it looks like we lost it. They lost their Wi-Fi for a second.
We'll get there.
I could believe that. The Wi-Fi is not all that strong there. It's out in the middle of the prairie. It's great, though.
Hey, guys, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Serge, say something.
Can you hear us now, guys?
We can hear
Yes.
you, Corinne. Can Serge say something?
Let's keep going.
Perfect. Yep. So let's walk over to the greenhouse.
Huh.
can see, we connected our greenhouses to our middle utility barn. In the winter, it's really nice, so we don't have to go outside in the harsh winter. But also, so when we harvest our produce, that it doesn't get the shock to go outside before we can wash it and weigh it and distribute it to our kitchen. So as you can see here, we're growing a lot of root vegetables, so beets, turnips, fennel, carrots, and then here we have a whole row of all types of herbs like mint, tarragon, chervil, thyme, parsley. And then here, what I'm mostly always excited about is our cucumbers and tomatoes from our vine plants. So these plants actually grow up a twine. And once they reach the top, we actually lower the twine so we can really grow a whole year. And we just keep the top 6 feet like vegetative and just keep growing and keep harvesting from the same plant. Because we're in a windy area, we can't build the greenhouse very tall because it will blow away. So here we mitigate that by thinking that the plant always has more to grow, but we just keep lowering the string. As you can see here, our tomatoes are actually just starting to flower here. So we will have tomatoes in the next 4 to 6 weeks for our season. And this is like my favorite plants and produce to really grow, especially the cherry tomatoes. It's mostly if you buy cherry tomatoes in the grocery store, they're not too exciting to buy and eat, but these are really sweet. We have a lot of great varieties that we harvest for our chefs. Here we have some radishes as well for root vegetables. Normally we harvest them a little smaller, so they're really like a tiny version of a radish that you normally get at the grocery store. Yeah, we can maybe walk between the rows so we can see how much tomato we can get. Again, we have 3 tomatoes in each box. Everything is automatically watered, so we measure actually the soil moisture, and then automatically the water gets triggered when the plant really needs it. This allows us to not only grow the plant faster, but also eliminate a lot of stress which affects flavor. So we're really keeping the plant as happy as possible to get as much sugars converted in the fruit, which really makes the difference in the taste on the plates in the farm and the lodge as well. So yeah, I'm excited to get started for the season for sure. And I hope you enjoyed the somewhat live tour.
Serge, what is your favorite vegetable?
I like cucumbers actually.
Oh,
I don't know.
nice.
I just like to grab them and you can eat them on the way.
I love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
This was great, Amanda, because you had to have Serge shave, so it's terrific.
I'm glad he did.
He looked like a mountain man on Thursday when I saw him last.
That's great. Well, we'll go back. Let me go back here.
And while Amanda's doing that, you see that old pickup truck there? We just had restored a 1929 flatbed Chevrolet pickup. That's what we're going to use to deliver our produce to the ranches every day. And we pick it up in Jackson this next week. It's going to be terrific. We've been restoring it for the last year. And so it's going to really, really be a special thing for people to see. And we know that people are going to want to take pictures by them. And it's just another thing from a memory standpoint.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to add to Amanda, our spirits are made already right now. We start to bottle this next week. So we will have those spirits on ranch this year. And we took a conscious move not to do beer. We were all prepared to do beer, but because we weren't able to sell that beer to our hotels due to COVID-19, we were going to take a break from the beer side of the business until next season. But spirits are alive and well, and they will start now.
Thanks. All right, so let's get back to the saddle barn. We're still at the farm. We're back at the saddle barn, and this is that meeting space. As you can imagine, we don't get a ton of all-day meetings or trainings. It just doesn't make sense to do programs like that at our property. You're paying for the activities. So, but we do understand that there is a meeting component that is sometimes involved. And this is one space, again, the saddle barn, and it's 3,900 square feet. This is the inside. It just has beautiful details, and this is a blank slate waiting to be dressed up, but it's beautiful without anything. We also have our homestead room. This is 1,250 square feet at the Lodge and Spa. This is a popular meeting room. It's a nice size. The right side has floor to ceiling windows. You can see the fireplace, and behind the fireplace is a nice patio adjacent to this room. So that's very popular. Green Mountain. So historically, we have always been a seasonal property, open May to October. We've always kind of talked about, do we want to open in the winter? Our guests have asked us to open in the winter. It's it's winter wonderland. Think about it, 30,000 acres, fresh snow, wide open spaces, snowmobiling like crazy. And so, but we found that when people are going to a winter destination, they typically want to ski. And the closest great skiing was Steamboat Springs, which is about 2 hours away, and it just didn't make sense. So our owner decided to purchase a ski mountain. So this is Green Mountain, new this year also. We had a big year. And we cut these runs. This is our baby. So it's a really exciting experience to go up here. The sales team had the opportunity to go up, and we have to sell it, so we need to know what it's like. These are my pictures, so sorry for the quality, but I want to tell you, we have all the gear. We have jackets, boots, goggles, helmets. You don't have to bring anything. And of course the skis, whatever you want to do. So the staff takes all the gear up the night before, and then you just ride up. So getting there is about 20 minutes in the car, and then you jump in this Snow Ranger vehicle that you are in with a few people, and you're riding on the snow, and you get to the base of this mountain. So you're riding about 15 minutes on the snow. You get to the base of our mountain, and there's this yurt, and you walk in, and here are your boots all set up by the wood burning stove, and everybody's very excited to see you, and it's private. This is perfect for a group of like 12 to 15 people. So it's just you, and it's the neatest experience. On the right here is a ski run, and you can look at how groomed it is. That is some corduroy grooming. And this one is called Idiot's Delight. That was my personal favorite. I don't know what that says about me or who named that, but it's a really great run. And there's runs for all different, I'm not this expert skier. There's runs for every ability. But the best part is how you get up the mountain. So there's no chair lifts. You get up in a snowcat. So this guy, that back part is this box where 8 people can sit in there, and you ride up the ski run, which is also quite an adventure. It's 1,100 vertical feet, and you get to the top. The views are beautiful, and the best part is you're warm and sitting with your friends. So you get to the top and you ski down, and on the back of that snowcat is a groomer. So it's grooming every trail that you go down. Now you don't have to, not everybody likes groomed trails like I do. Again, there's something for every ability. And the mountain is 600 acres. So if you're not a skier or a snowboarder, there's snowshoeing, there's cross-country skiing, so really something for everyone, and it is a really fun day. Now, I just want to know how many of you had heard of Brush Creek Ranch before this call? Raise your hand. Yeah, a lot haven't. This is what I call job security. This is my job, to get the word out. So this is what I do. And look at these accolades. Carol had announced this, that, look at the number of years in a row. Travel and leisure. Who would not want to bring a group to the #1 resort in the USA? 2019. So this is really exciting. We're really proud of it. We work hard for these accolades, and we're excited. So I really hope that you all have a group in mind that you think, I know this is the perfect group for this place. And I really hope that you're thinking, how can I get out to see this myself? And my message to you is now. We open June 7th, so brave those airplanes. or on a road trip and come out and see us. We would love to have you. And I promise when you book your group with us, we will make you look like the cowboys and girls that you are. Thank you everyone for your time.
Beautifully done, Amanda. Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks,
Oh
Carol.
my goodness.
You're very kind.
I just want to say, if y'all can hear me, I guess you can. For a small place like this to win an award of this stature, you know, from 2 major publications of the travel industry, can you imagine the reviews they had to have had for a 50-room hotel or a 60-room hotel to be designated the #1 hotel resort in the country? That is just such an astonishing achievement that really our hats are off to you. Look, our hats are off.
Perhaps. Thank you.
Who has any questions of Amanda and her team? I'll bet there are some. They don't need to be confined to the chat box. Let her rip, people.
What did they end up with the total bedroom and private bath number? Is that the 63?
So yes, at Lodge and Spa, it's 51 bedrooms and 46 baths. At McGee Homestead, it's 12 and 12. So a total of 63 and 58.
Huh?
I've got a city girl question.
Okay.
Do you have washers and dryers?
We do, yes, thanks for asking. All of our large cabin residences have washers and dryers, and they certainly get used.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the average stay? How many nights?
Sure, great question. So we have a minimum night stay of 3 nights. We ask for 3, 4, or 7 nights. We find that most of our groups are 3 or 4 nights.
Okay.
Amanda, if you would mind not screen sharing, then we can see the full grid of participants so they can address you personally. Could you go back to, yeah. Now, people want to talk to your face.
Sure.
There we go.
Oh, now I'm seeing the chat. Okay.
Yeah. Who else has a question of Amanda?
Well, Mike Greto asked if a small incentive wanted to buy out the space, how many rooms does that entail? Say the group is 20 to 40 people.
Sure. So a buyout is always a possibility. You just pay, we have a buyout rate. So of course it depends on the month, how many days, there's a lot of variables. But yes, we've had groups of 20 to 40 do a buyout. Absolutely.
Yeah, if I could add to that, the one thing that makes us pretty easy for the meeting planner is you're not dealing with anybody from a third party.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do ourselves. We handle everything from the welcome amenity that's branded, that's embroidered, from everything through our mercantile, all the way through transportation, all the way through the activities, special F&B. You need high grade entertainment. You want to bring Aerosmith out here. We have the ability to do it. We've done big acts like that here. So that's the beauty that makes it so easy for meeting planners, because we've done it 200 times. We've been in hotel business our entire lives, and now we're just happen to be in a guest ranch. So it's just that ease of one-stop shop, which makes it super easy for you guys, and it's super easy for us. So it gets us from A to Z in a pretty easy fashion.
Anything else?
Guess how many
Said that,
Yeah.
I need someone to guess how many horses we have. How many do you think we have?
180.
You're close.
Someone was paying attention.
yes, she said in the video, 180.
Oh yeah, we do. We have 180 guest horses, and we have about 75 Wrangler horses, and that's been increased about 200 and some % over the last 3 years. So, and our cattle herd, our Akiushi, so there's 2 types of cattle that we raise and we serve. We serve Akiushi, which is a brown cattle, Japanese cattle, and then the black Wagyu that we'll have our first batch of those guys coming back up to the ranch here this summer. But when we really get cranking again on our beef, we'll do about 800 head a year. And we'll also sell that through our mercantile.
Amanda and Mike, Laura Miller wants to know, is the snow ski experience a different overnight?
No, it's the same. It's the same accommodations over here at Lodge and Spa. We trim down. So Lodge and Spa has 33 units, and a unit could be a lodge room, as Amanda said, or it could be a 4-bedroom home. But we closed McGee, we closed French Creek, but we opened 26 of the 33 units that I think, Amanda, I don't know, can house about 75 people. We had a head in every bed. So, and then the staff during the season, we're at about 1.7 staff to one guest. And in the wintertime, it's more like 1.4 to one guest, because there's a few activities that we don't do. But surprisingly, what, as Amanda was talking about, the winter experience, we have an indoor heated 5-stand over at the gun range, indoor heated pistol and rifle room. We just had our first year with a 48 by 80 coiled ice skating rink. I mean, so it's perfect ice every day. So there is a tremendous amount of things to do here in the winter, and the winter is beautiful. It really is.
That it is.
Thank you. I'm sorry, you mentioned it was an all-inclusive. Is that how you price groups as well, or is it different because of like group functions, or how does that pricing?
No. Yeah, good question. So for a buyout group, there are no setup fees. There's no site fees. There isn't that type of charges because you're a buyout. Now, if we're doing something very special and there's, you know, staging and something out of the ordinary, there can be some setup charges, but for the most part, it isn't. You are our guests on property. If you're a smaller group, if you are okay sitting with other people, there's no charges. If you would like a private setup, there's typically a charge for a site fee just because of the, you know, it's a separate setup. Did that answer your question? Okay.
Yeah, the starting point to that is the group always starts with exactly where a leisure group of 10 people would be. That's the starting point. And again, there's some special things sometimes that come up. They want to increase the hors d'oeuvres. They want to do a late night hors d'oeuvre party. So we just deal with those on a one-off basis, and everything is BEO driven, and it's very transparent, and all that's decided pricing. It isn't like you get some bill underneath your door on the last day and go, uh-oh. Right. I mean, everything's really out in front of you. Everything's been asked for by the client, and we answer the question and deliver the services.
What else?
There's no one who asked about the altitude. The altitude, the ranch is anywhere between 6,800 feet above sea level up to about 78 at the very, very top of the property. Over at Green Mountain, it goes up to 9,000 feet. Very, 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 very few times will we have altitude sickness happen. I've been here every year we've been open, and I'll bet you we don't have 2 or 3 a season. So again, we advise people, hydrate, drink a lot of water, don't hit the bar too hard, and you'll be just fine.
Did I miss? I was a few minutes late. How far are you from the airport?
The $1 million question. So places like this do not exist in your major metropolitan airports, and you'll see why when you get there. But so to answer your question, the closest airport is in Saratoga. It's a private airport. Ideally, that is the way to go. Otherwise, Laramie is a regional airport in Laramie, Wyoming, and that is serviced by United Express. All flights connect in and out of Denver from there. So Denver is the closest major airport. It is a 3.5-hour transfer. And we'll find that our groups, I mean, probably most of our groups do that. They'll have everybody fly into Denver. The nice thing about Denver is there's a million flights a day from everywhere. So tell everyone to get into Denver by 11 a.m. We have a nice motor coach. We work with a wonderful company with beautiful vehicles, Wi-Fi, and we'll get it on the bus, and you're, by 12, you're at the property by 3:30 in time for a welcome cocktail. And we've had people get creative on those bus rides up. We've had people stop and pick up a hitchhiker that turned into a guitar player, or we can play up the City Slickers thing. We can put beer and wine on the bus. And it's really a beautiful drive. So it sounds like it's a lot, but it's really not. It's worth it.
Okay.
I'd be curious how many of you, I don't know whether with a show of hands on the grid or in the chat box, how many of you have incentive programs that have typically gone to a beach destination who you think might consider this idea? Yeah.
I will say we did a different dude ranch, and I know we're in ag, so that's an obvious fit. But our luxury dealers who have 3 and 4 homes and private jets said it was the best incentive we've done for them. I mean, we've done everything. So we are absolutely in the market for another dude ranch, and Brush Creek is the top of our list.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lauren.
Exactly. Thanks.
What is the best, like, you still would want decent weather, but it's kind of your low season, where you get a better rate, I guess I should say.
Yeah, sure. So July and August are our peak months with families and leisure travel. So really June and September are kind of those golden months for groups. The first half of June, you're going to get a little better rate. Second half of September, you're going to get a little bit of rate. And then May and October, I mean, if you're willing to roll the dice, it can be a beautiful time of year. And those would be considered our value months.
Yeah, the one thing that the farm allowed us to do, it gave us additional spaces and venues. And again, really, even during the summer, it hardly ever rains here. We wish it would rain more, but it never rains. But nothing really stops activities. I mean, really nothing ever stops, because you can layer up, and you don't want it to be hot and warm when you're on a horseback moving cattle or up in the trees doing archery. So you like those cool mornings and those cool days. But what happens a little bit in those shoulder months, it's hard to do a creekside meal down by creekside because it gets cold and the sun goes down. But that's why the farm has really allowed us to expand what we do in shoulder seasons. And that really is just a major plus. The groups that we bring in, and I heard someone say incentive, and we've done everything from a Mercedes-Benz group to a YPO couples and a YPO intercontinental family event. It is so one of our values is togetherness. I mean, we have a handful of values that we really believe in, and that guides our business and how we make our decisions. And togetherness is one of those, and experiential is another one. So when you have all these people who are successful in their business, and you have a company that wants to reward that performance, there's no better place than letting those guys celebrate together and celebrate with their spouses or significant others. And it just allows that time to take out the office phones and take out the, checking your phone every day. You've never spent such quality time with people in your organization. And that's what Brush Creek really does.
We hear that.
Michael, to that point, I just wanted to add that I do think, as you all are looking to either shift incentive programs that were booked in bigger places or looking towards 2021 for venues, we're going to be focusing on these calls for a while on smaller resorts and hotels that can be bought out on an exclusive basis. And what about that does add a little bit of extra layer of security and a sense of safety to help you with the perceptions of putting your incentive program attendees at risk. So this is the first of several that are going to address this issue. And to their point about all of this massive amount of acreage and the ability to spread out and to pursue activities that are paid for by the sponsoring organization but are kind of at your choice. These are all things that I think make this a great, great option.
The other thing too, when it comes to the employee side of the business, is that, again, we're only a third of our staff that's properly sized for what we're doing, but there's daily health checks. The associates have their temperatures checked twice a day. We log it. They have to answer a series of questions, and it's just the right, safe thing to do. Wyoming, you can go to any website and see what the cases have been in the whole state of Wyoming, and then drill down even more into Carbon County and drill down even more into Saratoga, and it's really no one. So
I think it's important to know that as you all are looking for solutions for canceled programs or 2021 and 22, to take a look at the reality on the ground of some of these places that are less affected, less impacted, and still provide that luxury and exclusivity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know, we can't wait to get started in about 8 or 10 days, whatever it is. And
on my birthday, Michael.
pardon?
On my birthday, please have a party for me.
Oh, there you go, June 7th. All right.
Here, yeah, June 7th.
Yeah, it was my dad's birthday as well. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody.
Hey, Amanda, I have to run. I have a 3 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
No, you have a space launch. You're not kidding us. We know what you're doing.
No, it's done. They scrubbed it. No, they scrubbed it.
They did?
They scrubbed it because of weather. It's going to be Saturday. So we all get to watch it now.
Okay.
Good.
Bye, Michael. Thank you for your.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I have to run. I have a McGee meeting I have to chair. So
Bye, Mike.
much for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Okay.
Bye.
All right. Everybody's waving at him. Isn't that sweet? See, Amanda?
It's very nice.
So Amanda was nervous. I want all of you all to give her like a big, I don't know, whatever Southern howdy you want to give. Great.
Thank you.
Great job. Great job.
Great job.
We actually practiced the greenhouse. I'm not sure what happened, so sorry.
Well, you know, it
would have been great.
An audio thing, but he was cute. So that counts for something. All right. I don't know if Kelly and Amanda have put their heads together. We're going to do 2 separate awards today. What do y'all think, Kelly?
I think we're going to do 2 separate, right, Amanda?
Sure, yes.
All right. I will give you the honors because that was a great presentation.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you. You're very kind. I'm so happy to be able to give away an all-inclusive 2-night stay at the ranch. So there are some restrictions, of course, but I cannot wait. It was a really hard choice. I've got to go with Wynn and her horses.
Yes! Oh my gosh, I can't wait!
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all, really. I mean, I love
Thank you.
I love it. It's so fun.
When do we leave, Wynn? Yeah,
we're going.
You have to take everybody who dug out a cowboy hat with you.
I will.
Get one of those. Get her to give you one of those big cabins with all the bedrooms. We'll be with you.
You got it.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
You're welcome. Great.
Awesome. And then, yeah, because we never said you couldn't cheat and bring your own livestock, right?
Maybe I'll just ride Flora there.
But I also thought that
Carlton, he can herd the horses.
I saw that, Donna. I thought that was great. I really thought everyone had great costumes this week. Everyone was phenomenal. But also, you know, in that vein of you can absolutely cheat at this game. And one of these people in particular had the perfect setup with the dog and the Lone Star and the porch. And Laura Miller, you were my choice, sweetie, because she was committed the whole way.
Nice.
Laura.
And then, yeah, Champagne Cowgirl. Of course you are.
And there are so many honorable mentions too. I mean, God, Kevin, you look great. I love the fact that you had your moonshine. Keep trying.
Kevin was phenomenal. Carol also with the assortment of cowboy boots back there, by the way.
Yes.
From Texas, and I don't have that many.
Had only stepped up and sung us a song, she could have walked away with it. I just think.
Hey, I can still do it. It's too late.
Okay, go.
No, too late.
Oh, no.
Catherine's hat was a good one.
Catherine's hat.
That was phenomenal.
You do know that Catherine pulls out all the stops every week. And Yes.
Yep.
I also learned this week that Kathy and her husband and her daughter, I think it is, are preparing massive amounts of food every week to distribute to healthcare workers. And she cut that effort short so that she can prepare a costume. So we want to send all of our love to Catherine and to Kathy and to thank her for just always showing up in an awesome way. And one day, I think she's going to get Pretty one day. The runner-up thing isn't going to last forever. She's always great. I wanted to also, before we go, put in a plug for next week. We did have a change in venue. Our friends at the St. Joe Company just reopened and now they're slammed. So they've asked for us to push their presentation back. And I was in a situation where I was able to invite in one of my personal favorite Caribbean beach resorts. I don't know what the theme is going to be yet, so keep your eye on our hospitality family page and your inbox. It's going to have some combination of beach party and Latina or Latino theme, because Eden Rock Cap Cana, another Relais Chateau luxury beachfront golf resort, is going to be our host next week. It's one of my top favorite places to go in the Caribbean. I hope you'll all tune in, bring a friend, tell everybody. You guys are great for showing up with the enthusiasm that you do, and I love you all, and I know Whitney does too. So Whitney, you want to close it out?
Thank you, everyone. Again, Amanda, thank you for doing this. You were
great.
Loved every minute of it. When I was compiling or trying to compile the information for the promo for this, I was overwhelmed. There's just so much to your property, and I hope that all of our planners will take the time to go through your website and, you know, contact you and keep you in mind if they have any needs for that great out west feel that we're all longing for right now. And we hope that you all will be with us on Friday at 4 o'clock. We will see you then. And meanwhile, stay safe, wear your masks, and giddy up, y'all.
Check our website. This will be archived starting tomorrow because Whitney did remember to record it. And as it becomes a relevant topic and you want to make a suggestion for a really interesting incentive program, you can go back and access that and grab Amanda's contact information from there. Okay?
Thank you all for your time.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Happy trails.
Have a great night.